James, I didn't choose him because of the music, but I chose him because of his heart positioning. Shofar Call is a collaboration between myself and James Godfrey, JG Productions, Tanzania, and so it's a collaboration between two nations. And I remember, receiving the message from him at the time when we first connected. What struck me and what caught my attention was actually James' interest more in the vision than the music. I still remember his message was more emphasizing on the vision, to say, I see your vision for God's kingdom and the music. I'm interested in the vision, and even when I spoke to him the first time at length, it was more about what he believed God called him for, and obviously when we started engaging each other on social media, I could see that, okay, trying to tap into the Amapiano sound. And obviously during that time, there was a lot of, sharing back and forth in terms of the vision itself, prayers, connecting, getting to know each other as well, and especially the music. So by the time he sent me music, I remember I asked him, because I didn't want to waste his time and my time. So I asked him to send me, just samples, because as a producer, you should have the sample. And myself as an artist, even tapping into the Amapiano, I'm one person, I know clearly, what is it that I want, even if I can be new in a certain territory, but I've got a clear vision in terms of what God has called me for. And exercising the answer no is not an issue. It's not something that I battle with. So I didn't want to waste his time. And when he sent me the beats, I remember two of them was two textures. And I remember I sent it to my brother, my own brother, blood brother. He's a DJ and a producer himself. And I lean on him on a lot of advice. When I sent it to him, I was like, listen, I think this is, it, because he had the structure of the log drum. Most DJs, they will send you music, it's full of instruments and things, but the log drum is not there in terms of the Amapiano, and also the texture, there's things that he'd done. And I remember my brother, he sent me a voice note to say, look, it sounds like, but we could change one or two things. And then we put it through our own South African ecosystem just to show him and let him listen to what I was looking for. And more than anything, it was not just about the music, that James was so hands-on with and upfront with, but even from a physical point of view and a spiritual point of view, he was there when we had time, we would have time to pray, share the word. And then also physically, he was very instrumental, and he had the leadership to lead, so he would send me songs, have some ideas, this. And obviously, myself as a strategist, having to put things down, it was easier for me to share documents in between, to say, no, I've already covered that, maybe have a look at that. And he was flexible enough on that. And that actually how the whole connection, merger of the collaboration took place. It was more from a vision, spiritual side, from a physical point of view, and a leadership. Because you can meet a lot of people, who seem to be excited in the beginning, but it takes a lot to serve ministry, and especially to try something that is way different. And also just the work ethic. The work ethic is something I judge myself with, and I judge people with, because I know my type of work ethic. I will work at something and aim to finish it. I will work at